We got the community crew out here. We got Toin calls Earl.
Ho. I'm gonna press people excel. Absolute.
Oh yeah, then we got the brother Shorty. Look what Shorty done.
Art and activism, the art of protest. Positive in the community. Gonna rat these white people out.
I love it. All right, we got YoYo. Yolanda Fully. Say hi to the people, Yolanda.
Hello. How are you?
She's with us. All right, and we turn around, we got Boom. Renegades, and say hi to the people, Boom.
Salute. 300 gangsters. Boom. PFK.
Okay. All right, I'm Queen. You know, we about to walk. We about to do this incarceration.
Welcome to hell.
I got my ancestors' pants on. So we about to do this walk. We about to go right through Baltimore. We about to show how prisons affect people. How incarceration is an institution. How you set, the government sets prisons in communities. And it's unfortunate, but such in communities. So let's walk. We're not indicting anybody, we just showing the people what's out here. Right, y'all?
Oh, I'm going to indict.
I'm going to indict
your
ass.
I'm
You
going to
done.
indict
You indicted, fried, and
We going to the grand
crucifixion.
jury with this
I'm
shit.
gonna resurrect you, indict you again.
It's the rat. When you go in jail, this will be your friend. This is your pet.
I got you.
You feel me? Got a lot of rats in that jail, don't they? Rats and roaches, big as stagecoaches.
All right.
C block. C block in the south.
City block.
All right, we're gonna walk. So, Tom, this is St. Francis
Academy.
Okay, you want to make sure. So, this is one of the most upper echelon schools in Baltimore for black people. Am I right? Or am I wrong?
You know what I mean? You got one Dixie Canes, man.
Yeah, so that's a great school in Baltimore. Consider, right? So, this, make sure you get that. That is St. Francis Academy, right? So, we're walking up to that. But on this side is what? This is the penitentiary.
Maryland Penitentiary.
Try to the penitentiary for the plantation, cotton for cocaine, and weedy cash crop.
So this is Maryland Penitentiary and Justice, and this is St. Francis Academy. And it's Maryland Penitentiary, Justice, and that's St. Francis Academy.
Education over incarceration.
Education, incarceration. Are we saying that?
Education, incarceration.
Camera got that? So you understand that when you come out of school, the first thing you see is what? A jail.
Oh, that ain't nothing. In the projects, they live in the projects right around the corner. Hey, look.
That's why we're on this walk.
So,
So,
you know education, right?
yeah.
This is where the slave was housed at, in 1800s, 1600s. There's a tunnel that leads from here to Lexington Market.
Wow. Wow. And the election market was definitely where
The
they sold
slave,
it.
where you sold them at.
In the square where they dance at every Friday at 12 o'clock.
And
Wow.
picnics is when they hung them.
Wow. Okay. Oh, we're getting to, that's amazing. So, you have a building that's now a prison. But first, it was a place for slaves. Am I right?
Chief
I
Justice
got my
Townley.
ancestors' pants on. I need to hear that.
You know Chief
All right.
Justice Townley?
All right.
Do you know who Chief Justice Townley
Yeah,
is?
yeah.
We on subject. He about the prison industry.
Yeah, but what we saying is what we showing, okay? So, we walking on up. This is Baltimore City. So, Baltimore chose to put a prison right across from a school. It chose this because you don't have to have this. So, black children could go to school and they come out to a prison. This is a problem. I would not want to do this, but this is how it is. So, we walking up, we showing it. So, the prison spans the whole block. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
It expands 2 blocks.
It spans 2 blocks, right?
Yeah.
So where it starts, Shorty?
Right there on Falls Way,
Falls Way,
all the way up here to Green Mount.
all the way to Greenmount.
That's 3 blocks.
That's 2 blocks.
That's
of-
3 blocks.
Of housed individuals.
All the way around.
All the way around.
All the way around. Housed
got-
individuals.
And got more than that, because you got a couple more around the corner.
That's exactly what we about to show. So as people can see, these are very old buildings. These are not new buildings. This type of stone, you will never be involved. Because this is all old real estate. All real estate. So we're going to show the people how they built Baltimore around incarceration. You get it? Y'all with me?
Yep.
All right. Yo-yo, anything?
Perfect.
You got nothing to say?
No, the educational walk.
Okay, educational one. All right. So, if you look straight over here, that says John and Joanne Phelps Gymnasium, right?
Yep.
So that tells you these are where the kids go to school. So you got St. Francis Academy, and then you have Incarceration and prison. Do you see how you can come right out of here? Basketball game, and the first thing a black child see is prison.
And that's a Roman Catholic school.
Roman Catholic school.
Roman Catholic.
See this now?
Not Catholic, Roman.
Remember Catholics brought the missionaries to Africa?
Roman Catholic.
So you see what
Don't
we're
leave out
doing.
there first
All
now.
right.
Roman Catholic.
All right.
So, a few years ago, Michael Phelps, right?
Uh-huh.
Swimming boat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, you got St. Francis with John and Joanne Phelps.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh.
Michael Phelps people.
Michael Phelps people. Yep.
See that thing?
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Say that again, Twan.
Say it again,
Michael
Twan.
Phelps' father and mother.
Say that again.
Michael Phelps' father and mother
It's on the name.
is on the name when he never
Been here.
been here on Eagle Street. When all of us paid the price, 39,000 years sitting in here while our family suffered west and east. And our history of our family was in here.
Which is the prison. But then John, we're gonna show the people. John and Joanne Phelps Auditorium. He ain't lying, y'all. It's right here. Right here. Just look. It's right here. I'm showing you.
Yeah, but this is what you got to understand
John
about
and Joanne Phelps Gymnasium.
Now, this is the other catch that you have to understand, that you were saying that not only that it's a school right across from the prison, and let me tell you about the zip code racism. By that school having a majority of black students, okay, right, athletic. For the past 4 years, those kids have not been able to participate in their league in sports because it's a predominantly white league and teams in the nation, but they can't play teams in Baltimore because the league they in is a Catholic league with some of the people who run Baltimore, like the Greater Baltimore Committee, their grandsons go to Boys Latin.
But why can't they play? Let's say why can't they play?
They can't take the hit.
Because it's a racism thing. Hear me out. That school was not the predominantly #1 school at one time. That school started to recruit from within Baltimore and started to get nationally ranked. And what it was that they were, if they was to play the other teams that was in their league, they would have messed up their record where they couldn't be who they. So you're making players not by competition, you're making them by positioning.
Got it. So
Zip code racism is called.
So they're not playing in the league in Baltimore.
They don't even play most of the teams in the league in Baltimore due to racism.
Because they're better.
It's a Catholic league. No, not that they're better. The Catholic school administration said they don't want them playing their kids because, quote unquote, they're too good. That's the same league.
That's exactly what
so
I'm saying.
these kids had to go find competition outside of
Absolutely.
Maryland.
That's
so the
exactly
competition
what
they
I'm
got
saying.
now.
So the athletic prowess of these young men is the reasoning for them not to be able to play amongst their other peers in Baltimore City. That's what you're saying.
But exactly. Zip code wise, racism wise.
So they're playing outside of their league.
Matter of fact, they're going all to Florida. They play these kids play. They probably
St.
got one
Francis
team
Academy,
that they
y'all.
play in Baltimore due to the racism. They had to go out to find competition, and being great, they made the top. So this school right here, if you Google them right now, just won the national. They was like nationally one ranked in the whole United States of America just last year.
Amazing, amazing. So we got that from Boom, y'all. We're moving on. That is amazing.
Our babies from the bowels of society.
Yes, sir. So this is the prison. We're gonna walk on down, and we're about to see a new structure. We're still across from the John and Joanne Phelps Gymnasium.
Now, what you also have to understand, this prison got shut down due to inhumane conditions. That's why it's not operating. It's not just broke. This thing meaning that we were in there in inhumane conditions.
So this prison is not open?
No, this prison isn't open there. But guess what? It is open. It has a class action lawsuit against it because they were still housing.
Okay.
Yeah, they were still actually housing people. So a class action lawsuit came, and you heard about all that land and all that, asbestos,
So the prison we just walked by is not open.
AKA.
I mean, is it or no? Yes or no? That's what I want to know. This prison is not open.
Not that part ain't open. This part open.
This part is not
That
open.
part closed.
Okay.
That's only in there. Only thing in there is administration.
Is this the new youth?
Yeah, around the corner and up there. Yeah.
So this is a new facility.
Yup.
All right, Toin.
30 million.
I need to know.
30 million.
Yeah, I need to know. So they put 30.
This is MTC. Organized part of the penitentiary.
Yeah, we're going all the way
Going
around.
around. Okay. Because the table don't take to it.
No, you can't get in there.
We don't want to get there. So this is all new structure right here. You guys can see. All new.
This is Jim Crow Road.
All new. What was this bill, guys?
Yesterday.
Last year,
Last
before
year?
last.
So
Last
it's
2
probably
years.
been about 2 years.
Yes.
Okay.
It sat for a whole year with nobody in it. $30 million. Youth prison.
Well, of course, I wish it would have kept some of nobody in it. That would have been very
They
nice.
got one in Illinois, northern Illinois.
Well, that's the reason why they did that, because they decided to charge all the kids as adults. So what happens is you don't have any youth to lock up. Our kids get charged as adults. We don't have no youth. That's what it is. You're a grown ass man at 15 in my city. Steal some candy.
Some of them 14.
Steal some candy. You getting double life.
Wow.
This
Okay.
this like Louisiana.
We are moving towards a new structure. This is the new structure on the block, am I right? All right. This structure is what?
It's where they want to send your children at.
This is what?
We call it baby booking.
This is a youth prison.
Yup.
This is a
New
prison
building, $30 million.
that they put 30 million taxpayers in. 30 million, y'all. Look at it. It looks nice, but it ain't nice. It's new, but ain't nothing new going on in there.
And the only reason why they built this one, exactly, our other juvenile prison is not even that old, which is on Gay Street. This is another built prison. We have two that's within a football field distance away. And we got two that's like a football field away. So they built that because it's called storage. They was waiting to after this happened.
They don't run out.
The storage.
They don't want to run out.
You get $47,000 a year to incarcerate me, $12,000 a year to educate.
And it's a tax write-off with no one in it, so it's a money cash cow.
Still get paid.
So this is 30 million. So now what we got over here, guys?
That's the project.
That's pre-release. That's the pre-release prison. And then that's what the babies and everybody live at behind that. That's a prison. That's a
That's when
pre-release.
they bumped and let us
You
do.
got the prison for the youth, brand new. But right across the street is another jail.
Absolutely.
So this is the 4th jail, right? Because 4 jails, 1 school. 4 jails, 1 school, right? All right. I didn't build it. I'm just telling you what's here. 4 jails, 1 school, and we haven't done 1 block. Have we? What did this used to be? BPRU. So this is Baltimore pre-release.
Those dudes come down after their sentence to work their way to transition back into society, getting jobs and things, reconnect with their families. They ended that. And more importantly, the warehouse youth.
So this is where the warehouse is, 926 Greenmount Avenue.
Hope y'all don't want to see y'all out here. My God.
We do not want your children here.
So, from school to prison pipeline, looking at St. Francis to the penitentiary, to here, then cold you're taking everything out of the community. That all of us fighting, we endorse education and opportunity there. That this is the only opportunity where they going to land.
But you also got to understand too, now we're going to play where me and Toin coming at. Now you're going to play the inside part about what was done. Is this something new? No. We rolled by this when we were in the back of the cars and watched our uncles. Our uncle used to come right out of here. I used to visit them right here. So, like, it's a call to administration. We're dealing with an epidemic that has never been handed on the backs of any generation, which is called Negro peers. This is a 65% black city. We have one of the biggest strongholds in the United States in reference to being a chocolate city with the crisis that we have in our cities. This that we're looking at, it's engineered by the same people that's holding these cameras, meaning color scheme. This is not a color epidemic. You'll hear the word racism and go straight and think in this city it's a whole bunch of white dudes with the white hair on his head. No.
Racism.
What you're actually looking at is that you would have to take the piece from the pie that you would look at the most
Listen, Bo, what we're trying to do is we're trying to show the people. We're not telling them how to feel. We're showing them. If you show them something, you don't have to say a word. You don't. This is all. What we want to do is document for the people what they put here. You don't even have to say why, because this shows everything. What you're saying is absolutely true. And you understand that's going around the whole country. Most of the inner cities are ran by minorities, but they still have high violence and high problems with crime, and also with putting people in jail. That's happening everywhere, unfortunately. But we're trying to show the people here the illustration of how they make your mindset, the psychology of putting things around you that breaks your movement. Because the things you see, your environment is important. You understand? So what we're trying to show the people is not how we feel, because that's definitely your truth. But this is how they set this thing up. You get what I'm saying? City planning set this up. It's not like this was not intentional. This is intentional.
We already know that.
I mean,
You know that, but people don't know that. And that's why we're here.
But the
We're
thing
here to show them. A lot of people don't understand. When Toin first showed me this, I didn't understand. So I'm learning.
In every major city, Chicago, New York, Philadelphia, any major city, the projects is always close to the penitentiary so they can move their people. That's anywhere. Cabrini Green projects was the same way. When they bust down the projects and they gave them vouchers out, they gave them vouchers out to white communities so they can lock niggas back the fuck up.
Yo! 300! What's up, baby? We all we got!
The men are yelling out of the window to us.
We all we got!
That's what I was trying to
We all we got!
Anybody come out in this room?
Yo!
What's going on? That's what's going on.
Boom, sir!
So they can see us. These people can see us from these windows. They are in the community, but not in the community.
Only look out and see the whole existence of life.
I'm with them.
And we can hear them.
And we can hear them, but they can't come out.
Got my GD out of there.
They can't come out.
They get put out
Visually, that's their only way of
I didn't know how
escaping
to steal. You know, I didn't go to school.
conviction, modern day slavery, Jim Crow.
You might
None
learn
of us how
Share
to
it, man.
giving them that
Might have
experience.
had something for you, but you can't
You're
home.
free for that moment.
So this jail is what? Like a
Minimum security.
minimum
This is
security.
the lowest. When you come back down from max, medium, minimum, this is where you come to. This is when you're on your way out. Less than 3 years.
So this is minimum security prison. So this is the last before you can.
No, it's one more. It's pre-release.
This is pre-release.
No, this is minimum.
This is minimum and then pre-release.
Right. But pre-release has been put back in JI, Baltimore City Detention Center, back where it first began.
Right. So now when we came from around the corner, we was at where you get released.
Right. That's where you started.
That's where you started. And then here we came around, there was another prison that was the penitentiary, right?
Right.
Now we started youth,
Right.
$30 million on this corner.
Right.
And then now we come down Greenmount, and then we on the left side we have minimum security before pre-release.
Pre-release.
So what might this be?
This still is
This
part
is
of
still the youth.
This is still part of the youth.
It's still young people. So you guys from the corner, what's your address?
Egan Greenmount.
From Egan Greenmount.
Yo, this is the new deal, yo. If you a thief or a robber, be a politician. Baltimore police. Straight like that. I mean, Baltimore looks like that. It looked like the good guys are on the street. And the damn motherfucking criminals just see all this.
We have
I mean, I'm just saying the truth.
the minimum security prison right here. So when you come out here,
It used to be with the juveniles or something.
this used to be.
Yeah, they closed that down
Okay.
and put it back in the inside of the jail.
Got it.
So when you begin at, is where you come back to before you come back out in society.
So where you start, when you come out of minimum security, you go right back
Back.
to where you start.
Yeah, where you start. The whole condition breaking cycle. You done went up, dealt with everything. Now you gotta come back, be locked 23 and 1 again
To where you start.
to where it start with the whole pain of your people can't come seeing you thinking you ready to come out. Nothing classified to help you prepare to go out, then get released. And if no one's there like us with our advocacy, our support, our resources, then they become the objects again. They become the objects again.
That's that post-incarceration syndrome. That's what it's called.
So it's unbelievable. You come out of something, but you go right back to where you started.
Right.
And then they release you out to society.
Right.
Okay. That's how it is.
That's how it is. A marketable skill to make you to be a force or investment to a rotated circle. That's why we kept saying that recidivism means, or return citizen means being stuck in a circle where you became a logical citizen and learned to grow up. That we grew up in prison. That's our community. I don't know nothing about our hill. You know what I'm saying? But until us three got together and showed each other the way to go, now we here to help hundreds and hundreds and others to stay out here.
Okay. Wow.
So listen, so right now you got somebody's family talking to you.
The family is talking to you. They come up to the jail and talk to the family from the car. This is a prime example. They're having a real conversation, y'all.
That's how I like it.
A real conversation. You getting that, Justice? With somebody in jail and they know the person. I'm having a real conversation.
And she's actually going to save somebody's life. She able to talk to him, and he just be mad all day and saving somebody.
Can you hear it? She's having a conversation with the person in the jail. A real conversation. Wow. You can't go that place and you can't visit anybody, right?
Right, you can't visit nobody.
Wow.
Used to be a time where they used to throw stuff over the gate.
So this is Rona vision. Wow.
Science.
This is real right here. When did that was out? Huh? Yeah. You got that? Yeah. They're having a conversation from the jail. Look at this. They're having a conversation from minimum security jail to this red car. Can you please move something? They're having a conversation from that jail to that red car because there's no visiting. This is what you call real pain right here. This is community. This is real. This is the U.S. flag, and this is the reception, diagnostic, classification. is where we get classified in Baltimore City. It's the corner of Greenmount and East Madison. This is where the city puts people, plans. They live right across from the wall of the prison. Let's walk down.
Everybody walk, everybody so why you think I'm talking about the ranch of the dime free.
Out here,
Right.
the projects, which is always a project. That's what it is. Look at it. This is what Toin? You telling the people. What's that?
Minimum security.
Minimum
Check this
security.
out,
B
check
what? B what?
B-triple-C.
It's B-triple-C. And this is the
Baltimore
project.
City.
Baltimore City Projects is sitting right here next to the prison, so you're not really desensitized. If you ever been to jail, that's a minimum. Hey, is this a minimum security joint? Ain't the projects a minimum joint?
Yeah, no.
This ain't number the
Ain't
minimum
no
joint
security
minus,
no more.
That's minimum security minus the top. No, you got the bar. You got the bar.
Oh, Lord.
This the projects ain't nothing but a minimum security joint in Baltimore. That's it. All they missing is the guards and the shot tower. That's it. 6 feet bars, and that's it.
They came up with
That's the jail right there. So your mental was already broke down. We traded the penitentiary for the plantation, cotton for cocaine, and we the cash crop. And if you don't realize that, that's the fucking plantation. You growing your crop.
Real talk. So,
Going that way back
people
around.
have families. People have children. People they live their lives in front of a jail. Who does that to people? You cannot expect people to be positive when they live in front of a jail. And it's government housing. We're not even talking about they went and bought something and said, you know what, this is where I gotta live. This is the only thing open. This is where your government puts you. This is intentional, y'all. If it isn't, it wouldn't be here. Am I right?
But do you see the resemblance of the building?
Look at the building.
I'm talking about from this building and then look at that building. That's crazy because this building right here is not better than this building. That's crazy.
Say that again, Miss YoYo.
This building right here,
What's that building? It's classification. DOC. What's better than the project?
that's crazy.
Look how serious that is.
You don't
That's
pay any
serious. Come on, because this is what we got to show right here. Hey, projects, and look on top of this.
barbed wire.
Freaking barbed wire, front of the people's house. So you go from barbed
This is
wire
where the babies get to come outside and look at the place.
barbed wire.
Now, when I was little, I used to jump rooms.
Why do you do that to people? It don't make sense. It's not, it doesn't make sense in a humanity scale. You cannot say you love people and put people to live their lives and to raise children in front of a jail.
That's true.
You cannot say it. It's unfair. So I'm not indicting anybody. I'm just saying what I see.
It
We
is
see
what it
the
is.
projects.
Truth needs no
What does it
support.
say over there? Latrobe Homes. Get that poster on the side of that building. What does it say, Justice?
Latrobe Homes.
Latrobe Homes.
Yeah,
And then when you
B-6.
turn your camera,
Right
what's
there.
this right here? Yeah, what's that right there? D right here. That is the minimum security prison with barbed wire on top of the building, right across from it.
We got these bars that's up. And we got these bars that's up. That's
Can
crazy.
you believe this is what they do to people?
That's crazy.
So then on top of that, we walk down here, this is
Blocks.
Dunbar.
Blocks.
This is one of the best schools in the country. Right down the street from the jail. The freaking field that they play on is right there. This is how you set up children to fail. They come out of school, past the projects that look like a baby jail, to the real jail. It looks better than the projects.
Why wouldn't they want to go? It looks better.
It looks better. Come on. Ain't no judgment. I'm just showing you. I'm just showing the people.
Yeah, but we got our city official and our government officials talking about how they love us so much, but yet we vote for these motherfuckers.
Whoa.
That's crazy.
That's real talk right there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Let's go.
This is how they give a fuck about us.
This is what you see. We showing you people. Projects, prison. Projects, prison. Right out your house. Unfortunate.
But do you see, wait a minute, but do you see the dynamics in it? Where they start off with, where they hold you up. And then you go from holding, then you go from a holding to, wait a minute, your children. And then you got fathers and children sitting in the same spot. That's crazy. Mothers, fathers, and children sitting in the same spot. And then we come around here to the classification center. Then we come around here to the classification center. We get classified right here.
Right here.
Right.
Right
If you
here.
look at
So this
if
is
you
how
look
we
at
do
So
it.
these
slavery,
babies start from here.
if you look at slavery, when they brought them in and they put them up on the auction blocks, it's the same thing here in diagnostics. They see how healthy you is. They see where they're gonna send you. You know what I'm saying? What population you gonna be in? It's no different. There was a scientific project, and it was about the projects. They took 24 rats and they put them in a maze. All right. They put the resources in the maze. All right. They put water over here. They put cheese. They put lettuce and all that. When the rats started having babies, they started taking the resources away. Thus, you have the projects. When you take the resources away, what do you have? You have a project. And when the project do, they start killing and eating each other. What is we doing now? You talk about the guns, the gangs, and the violence, but 1960, Richard Nixon developed the Southern Strategy, which we live in now, and which Bill Clinton and Kwasi Mfume perfected with the war on drugs. You're going to talk about the violence in Baltimore City, but you don't want to talk about ending the war on drugs. You can't have cancer. I mean, you can't talk about the treatment and not talk about the cancer. The cause of the problem, the root of the problem is the war on drugs. The war on drugs is what's housing our penitentiary. If you eliminate the war on the drugs, you're going to eliminate at least 60% of the prison population, because white people use drugs too.
Let's go. For Shorty.
Facts.
Let's move. All right, brother.
I'm trying to
You get ready to go. I call this prison row. Because if you look from here, come on. I need to ask you something.
Yeah, hey,
This is a prison here, am I right? This is what?
That's part of the city there. That's JI.
Yeah, the JI building.
Actually, where now pre-release is held.
So this is what pre-release is here, which was around the corner.
Yeah, when you
Where the
leave,
youth was at.
right,
It's now here.
and then you leave here, you go back.
So you leave minimum security prison. Look at this distance. So we're going to leave minimum security prison. Once you leave there, you go back.
Go back to where we got.
Go off again, which is here called JI. All right, let's get it. All right, so classification, pre-release, and then we head straight into prison.
As a fan, right? That's where Boom something when he stayed in solitary confinement for 3 years. So that's where Boom stayed at. So Boom is the one that protects the children. You know what I'm saying? Like Superman, the Justice Center, basically is known for stabbing, threats, prison power. Like you go to prison, that's where they can send you at for justice. You know you go kill a nigga. We're inside, you don't like it's regular bump. Everybody walk in with a chill.
Wait, you gotta hear that. I want to hear that. I want to hear that.
Supermax don't have regular bumps. Bumps are actually made out of slab cement. They give you a mattress about this thick,
That's why I said those.
which actually like sleeping on. So most dudes roll the mattress up and put it under their head for comfortability, because once your head is comfortable, then your body can relax.
So they're sleeping on slabs of cement and Superman.
Exactly. So now that the feds have got it, because I haven't been in there.
That's one question first. So is that the one where you in your cell for Superman for a longer time?
You 24/4 every other day.
So tell the people what that means.
24/4 means you inside 24 hours, and then the next day you come out one day for half an hour. Shower, 15-minute phone, and a half an hour rest. Then you go back in.
For 24 hours, you on a cement slab.
Yeah, you in your cell. Slabs are on the wall, they don't move.
Two on each side. There's two in the cell?
Yeah. Some have chairs and some had one. Depending on the adjustment represent that you're classified. You're classified as a high risk threat. Stabs and all that. You might put yourself by yourself. Classified as a high risk threat for stabbings, things of that nature. Short and pulling things together. You might be in an adjustment cell by yourself because you're a threat. There's no need to put no one by you because you can recuperate. You can recycle someone to do your measure if they go out. You understand what I'm saying? And some conversations of the best friendship are made through brick walls. By beating on the wall and like, yo, what you doing? Now, some of the best chess games that I have heard or seen was not people playing chess, was one saying block 2, block 3 up.
So they're playing chess and don't see the board.
Yeah, one got a board, one has a board, and another one has a board.
And they're playing
chess.
through the wall.
Through the wall.
And I say that's innovative. Okay? The will to survive is an amazing entity. Turn it off. They can't see each other's moves. So one guy black, one guy white. What happened?
One has black, one has white. Like, it's my move. I got white. So I might say second row, 2 block over, 3 up. It's the way you looking at moving pawn rook.
Without seeing the actual piece.
No, you got the piece.
But I mean, the other person can't see what you're doing. They can only see what you say.
Yeah, that's all they can do. That's how you play. That's how you play. And based upon the boards of knowing the game, you know when checkmate is. Because you know when your pieces are.
That's most creative. You know that takes memory, it takes fortitude. Oh my goodness.
I mean, the only thing different is me and you is not sitting in front of each other. The boards are still there.
Yeah, but a lot of times you can see the board and you can see it. You are doing this from memory.
No, you got a board.
Yeah, I'm saying you have a board, but you don't see what the other person. You see what I'm saying? You can only simulate it yourself. A game is 2 people. You can make it one.
No, it still is 2 people. Queen, listen what I'm saying. You have a board, he has a board,
I understand.
Right? I have white, he has black. So I know when it lines
There's a
up,
concrete wall.
which way the pieces move.
So the person on this side moves. When you say you move, they move.
Right.
And then you move your move, and they move this. So this both simulating a board.
Right.
Without having human contact.
Right.
It's amazing. That is amazing, creative. It's amazing, and it's a game. Chess is a game of thought. So you see all that thought it takes to make that happen? That's amazing.
Told on your cousin, she smacked you.
That's one of the amazing games they play a lot.
Absolutely. Chess. Chess and peanut. Chess and peanut is thinking games. Spades is pretty. You know what I mean? Spades is about counting. Ace, king, queen, deuce. That's the high. You know what I'm saying? Once you got ace, king, queen, jack, you know what I mean? Ain't no. But peanut, you know what I'm saying? You can change your whole suit. You know what I'm saying? Ace, king, queen, jack, and the 10 is a straight run. It's 25 is the highs. You know what I'm saying? But if you got double queens, double jacks, double kings, and double aces, you got a straight flush. So therefore, you can change your suit. I mean, still with the cards, the man got me set.
But somebody like me, I'm used to human contact.
Because see, like you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen
You know
it.
what I'm saying? Like when I first seen it, I was like, when I first heard, I was like, man, they playing chess behind the wall. That's crazy. But actually, the first time when I sat down and had to play it and do it, then I was like,
I'm not saying it's crazy, I'm saying it's amazing.
that's what I mean.
Yeah, it's amazing to me. It provides you a game that you have to think like that. You see what I'm saying? All right, so where we at, guys? What's this?
Oh, that's the back end of my backyard. This is the back end of my. This is where I live at. This is my yard.
where they
You see
ship
my
you off
cars?
at.
Look at my limos.
Transportation.
Look at my limos. These are limos. Look at them limos. Look, I got the stretch.
You know that bathroom is a bucket?
Don't steal my rims either.
That bathroom is a bucket. You got a piss of shit, you better shit in the bucket. They don't give you toilet paper.
This is my backyard. This is the back of the city, Jay.
jail, barbed wire.
Go in. Somebody just got hit up.
Right there.
Hear that noise?
Yes.
Somebody got dealt with. Hear that sound?
Yes. You hear it?
Right. Yeah, anytime you hear alarm, you know they ain't never right anyway. That always mean emergency. But look where you looking at. So yeah, I was just speaking on that. Somebody might got too many visits and somebody got mad and stabbed his ass up. Facts. We were just talking about that. It could be something that simple. Somebody got too many visits.
Phone call.
He wanted to use the phone. He said no. He hit him up. So yeah, this is the backyard. And as you see, you know, I mean,
They're coming to work, so these are correction officers. Yeah.
I mean, we really don't call it correction because the statistics don't add up, so we call it division of corruption. I mean, I'm telling the truth. The statistics don't add.
I'm getting, but I'm saying so the folks can know.
Oh yeah. Division of correction. Look, now this is what you can really look at. Hey, Toin, this is what you good for. Break that symbol down for them. Break that down. Why this has to go down? See, 3/5 of a man, which is the capital of Baltimore, which are black people. Right here, you got a fish and you got a shovel. Who you think the cash crop is going to make Baltimore what it is, which are blacks, aka workforce? But that's what that shovel and that fish is about. Because ain't no white man going to do neither one of them, as you see in our system. So yeah, that symbol speaks volumes to what we're looking at, really. They tell you basically what they're doing. They like, black, get involved or not.
Department of Public Safety and Correctional Services.
No safety.
That's what it says.
The Maryland State Seal. That's what it says.
That's what it says. That's what it says. And you got to look at it. And look what it says. It says parole right there in there. It's right there. And they have a place called Parole City in Baltimore. But parole is right in there. Like they already knew they was going to govern this by capital.
City in Columbia, right?
Give them that. What's all that? And I guarantee you, niggas mind to get you.
Now look at this right here. That's asbestos and laying on that building right there where that man went in there. Then you wonder why corrections is supposed to become corrupt.
Now you also got to remember you're looking at, and I do want us to move it away.
Let me ask you a question. This is the back of the same jail
Yes, ma'am.
that we saw on the other side.
Yes, ma'am.
Which is called
The same city, in the same city jail with the council.
All this is Baltimore City Jail.
Baltimore City Jail, and of course, what we was looking at, we got your detention center, and all that. Free release across the street, you're in the system already. Remember, you can come from DOC and go right across the street because you're in the system. This is the That's why it's called detention center. Because they got various schools up to 5 levels. So basically what they did was, they didn't make any money by making it a straight go ahead, get locked up, get shipped out. They made the money by every day they house you, they make $275 a day. That's how much it costs to just lock me up and I stay 24 hours a day. That's $275 a day. That's why they made it so when you get locked up on Friday, you can't go to Monday because they wanted to guarantee that, of course, the system makes $1,000.
From you anyway.
Man.
The system makes $1,000 in taxpayers?
Yes, $275 a day times 3.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yes, ma'am. That's all taxpayers. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All taxpayers. You can see that Maryland got the most juvenile life sentences. The juvenile sentence cost $778 a year. Without parole costs $1.8 million. So you'll see our murders are always never one person. They'll always get 5 people and give them life because now that's 1.8 million times 5. They don't make no money off of one person. That's why you always see it's a gun, one gun in a car, but 5 people get locked up with one gun because they can make money off of each one of y'all. $60,000 a year for one gun. So they make 60,000 times 5 with one gun in the car.
Now you going to
wow, that's $300. That's $300. If it's 5 people in the car.
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody caught their case.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. All right, so let's get the city jail.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's get all of that. Just all the jail. All this is the city jail, the back of your house, right, bro?
Yes,
So this is all. Boom, how long you been here?
Now, this is what you're gonna look at. Now, look at this whole part right here. That part right there, my prison system, all the way from here, all the way throughout the whole Maryland, is a 70% prescription drug incarceration. That's where all the medicine comes in. So that is letting you know that
Up here is where
all this, and this is just a detention center. What is that telling you? Half your citizens got to be on drugs already up the first
So
part.
listen, this is like a pharmacy.
There you
This
go.
is a medical. Okay. All right, so we got city jail over here. So what we got here?
Now this is part of city jail too.
So this is part of city jail
Yes, sir.
here.
This is that other part about the team they want to say you get locked up, you get 6 months. You can go it over here, want to get kitchen detail to look over here. See, now if you notice how you no man, not for you. Not like for
not for prisoners.
well, for, you know, the regular people go this way, and then them, of course, they'll do it that. But you got to do it that thing ain't been working for you. There's no action. Yeah, that leads to the jail. So the jail was closed down, so now it's going right here. And if you step in, like I said, free release.
So this is free release.
Free release is probably over
This is
here.
JI.
When city jail was up before they
you
tore it
might want to
down.
turn right there. That's how they enter in there, bringing the prisoners
Okay, wait a
in.
minute. So they
Like
bring
that.
prisoners
That's
in.
how they bring them in.
That's how the prisoners come in. Now, so it's open manually. So it's not.
That's how old.
So
That's how long it's
somebody has to open it.
So, so I had half of it open. We're talking about something you can't see.
I get it. So half of the jail is open, and the side where we was closed.
They tore it off and tore most of it down. And they gotta cut the other one.
And the part you see up, but it was about half of that wall was everything. Still just a minute ago with all those views.
Those old tunnels right
Now
there.
look at this. This is free release. Free release has barbed wire all the way around.
So you don't jump out the window?
All the way around. You have to
Yeah, this JI.
It costs money to install it. All of this to house people. To me, it's mind-boggling. This is our 8th jail. This is our 8th. Huh?
Oh, yeah, the 8th.
This is the 8th jail in a block. 8th jail. Am I right?
That's your own
It was a battle. It was a battle of, we call it battle of the spoils. Meaning, it was a big tug of war.
The slaves up to go right through that tunnel.
Right now, this jail is not ran by Baltimore City. This jail, once it got taken over by Baltimore, by the state of Maryland, it's been all of that part where you were just looking at it as money. Took the school and now you gotta remember Charles Dutton can't do this same system. Let's repeat that. So we're talking about a system that when we talk about correction, we got school in it, we got this.
So let me ask you a question. So prisoners don't go up here, right? This is regular people.
No, actually they do, but when we say police, they are literally guys who are here when they go to work, doing the
Oh, so people leave.
There you go.
Oh.
Like pre-release, like when we say pre-release.
So I thought so they do leave.
Yeah, they do leave. They do leave. They go to programs, like they might be addicts, they leave, or
Got
whatever.
it.
So, you know, they still.
Inmate property and finance. Is that cage? Is that finance cage? Is that what that says? Inmate property. Come to the front. Does that say inmate property and finance cage? I know that's not what that says. That's what it says.
That's crazy.
Oh, this is disgusting. Inmate property, and they're telling you, finance case. All right, let's look at this. How old is this? What was the rest? How old is that?
Bricks. You can see the pain in it.
Yes, the knots. Knots in it.
See pain in it. See the lives that cost the sacrifice. They yell from behind. You look at the pain that's on this door right here. Slavery times. Slavery times and servitude and blocks and doors. Look behind the history of that door.
Let's go through there. That's what I got my ancestor pants on.
Elder Bernstein was slavery.
What went through that door?
That's where Bernstein was banned. Big metal.
Can you get the door? Can you get the little door? I can get it good. Look at this door. I wonder how old. I wonder what's behind it. And then if you turn around here, you see car wires everywhere on the top of the door. Look at it. They continue to contain. It's unbelievable.
It's Tower House, right? It's Tower House. It's
This walkway right here?
Right here.
Oh, so they monitor on this walkway right here. What's his name? Say that again.
Joe Thomas. Joe Thomas.
The only one.
That dug his way out of the penitentiary underground because he went to the same railroad way that the slaves were being trafficked the rest of them all. But it was cut off and shut off. See, like, you gotta talk about.
So he's the only person that's ever broke out of the penitentiary.
I mean, people like through that measure.
I mean, through that measure, I'm talking about.
Early 1900s.
Was digging himself out.
Yeah, through the tunnel passage.
And his name is Joe.
Joe Tunnel.
Listen to his name.
Joe Tunnel.
Joe Tunnel dug through the tunnel and got out. Wow.
And then, like, you know,
Wow.
looking at that, like, there's just so many stories that people, like, haven't talked about. Like, you talk about the street, Grave Street. You know what I'm saying? You talk about different but it literally sits between.
So Grave Street is this street in between the prisons. So we just saw Grave Street, and this is Constitution. Can you see that? Or you need to get up here.
That's a key to it.
Can you see that? So this is Constitution Street, and this street between these two.
It's an institution, and what does a constitution do? What does the 13th Amendment do? Enslave you, right? But after the passage of slavery, what happened? You go to your grave.
Now, I have been here a million times, visiting people, been in there, all that kind of stuff. Never paid attention to the name of that street.
And just told you, Constitution and Grave.
Never heard.
Listen, but did you see on the top of it, it says inmate, what does it say?
Cage.
Inmate cage, inmate and finance aid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not.
I ain't saying that.
I can't believe it.
But I never paid attention to that name.
This is how you program people.
Right.
And you don't even know it's happening.
You gotta watch this video.
I will. All right. So,
No, this one.
I will. So we're between Constitution and Grave.
Right.
So this doesn't work anymore.
They still walk over there.
Oh, they use it. Oh, I said they
Still in
use it.
operation.
Now look at the funniest thing alive. What's that called?
700 Constitution.
Oh, you crazy. Oh, they giving you that smoke, you 3/5 of a person. They giving you everything
That's
you
the
deserve.
first thing I thought
They
about.
giving you everything you deserve.
700.
Constitutional society.
Man, that building don't look like legislation. Come on, man. That look like, come on, look like you're supposed to go get Juliet on top of that.
Look at the architecture. Look how long these buildings have been here. This is not new construction. You can see that this brick is probably old. It's older than all of it.
Well, this is what you raise. This is federal right here. Now you're about to get the big shit. Oh, this is why I live. This is another place in my house at. This is like the super max, like they say, the most dangerous. Like, remember Melvo and John Muhammad? Remember Melvo and John Muhammad and all them? This is where they put you at. And the fans took us over. Baltimore spent so much money on this.
What?
Baltimore spent so much money on this when they first did it because it was for a state of Maryland people. But it was known to be bull crap. And then somebody actually escaped out of here. This was at one time the most secure prison in the world when it got built because it was federal. And this is my escape.
So this is a federal.
That's federal. Where they house state.
Prison Row. Because remember now, we on our 9th prison. This is the 9th, right? 8, 9, 10. Here we go. You got 10. I see the Charlie. Yeah, that's the Charlie.
I'm wait till you see that offer.
They got a campaign in New York called Bills for Prisons. Bills schools, not prisons. But look.
It says, building bright futures in Maryland. This is what they call bright. People's lives. We gotta stop this prison, y'all. It's too much. You have the governor, the lieutenant, all of this. How could you be a part of building prison?
What you were talking about, Yoshi? A housing contractors.
Unbelievable.
Baltimore working minority contractors.
Wow, heard that? Wow. So they're building back here. That's why this is here. Because they're rebuilding it here. And to them, that's building a bright future. Yeah, so that you can see through the fence, bulldozers, sand, they're building.
This is who you see running. Running for governor.
All right.
Running for governor. Here goes your next governor that sits on the side of a building, of a jail that say, building bright futures in Maryland.
That's the Greater Baltimore Committee's president's son right here. President of Senate.
Take a picture.
Oh, hell no. I'd take him with them names.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I need that picture right there. Yes, sir. Beautiful. Boom, you don't want none of the smoke?
No, that this is like a drug. Like when a drug dealer got his pills, this is where they do their experiment. This is the experiment simple. Like, I'm going to test my drugs on the Negro.
So the correctional?
That's Correctional Association accredited, meaning they have turned actually housing into a 501c3. Yeah, or American Correctional Association.
So this is now a 501c3 building?
Yes, ma'am. So that means the correctional officers who work there can now write on the New York Stock Exchange, and now them working is now really busy. Now they actually got investment in the capitalism of the property being incarcerated.
We're on our 12th jail, y'all.
Yep.
Wow.
This jail right here was one of the biggest wastes, and again, of money in our budget. Our budget is $3 billion a year. The year that they built this jail, it took out half of the budget, but it didn't operate. They had like 4 people in there for like 3 years.
Good.
Which that means taxpayers was paying per bed, yo.
I understand, but I'm really, really concerned about people being in there.
The biggest, just, you know what I'm saying? It's up there for the homeless. So, like certain provision for the homeless, that is what is a men's shelter house in there.
Okay.
You understand? So after all this, the homeless is here. But Baltimore City has 100,000 homeless population.
So they can't house them. That's why all the people out here on the streets.
Why they only? It's probably big enough.
So you come out of pre-release, and then went up down here. So if you came out of there, and they let you out, you don't have nowhere to go. That might be the spot.
It could be, but where it's going to end the homeless. But then you got the other spots that's going to beans and bread and all that. But all of them are overfilled.
All the shelters
are overfilled.
So we got retail right here. So now we're moving into the central.
We started at the beginning, and since the book is at the back, this is the
So they go right, this is when you're arrested, this is where you go in.
Yeah.
So now we're hitting central booking. So if you're arrested in the city, is this where you come?
This is where you come from. Yep.
This your first spot?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, you from the precinct.
This is where it started.
So
Where it started.
This is the beginning.
Yeah, this is the beginning.
Ah!
Like you right there, and the truck, they drop you off in the truck in there.
You went in. So we got a van that just went in. So this is how you go in. If you see a van, just go in. Stop.
When they go about that other door.
Oh, so there's another door. They're waiting for the other door to open. I see it. Ah. And then you go right on in. door's open.
Yo, what's up, baby? Oh, buddy. What's up, baby? Good? What's good, yo? No more, keep your head up. You know how to take that time.
They the doors that
It ain't right.
They the doors you don't ever want to go through.
You don't ever want to go.
That's where it starts.
But there's another van in front of you. That's why he can't move.
Yeah, because they got to wait to get the process.
The prisoner is coming out. You see, there's a van in front of him. That's why he ain't moved yet.
Well, no, because it's a process that you got to go through, so you got to stay
Look, if you come here, you see there's another van in front of him.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's
So
what
they're
I'm
bringing
talking
people in over and over and over.
about. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
In a pandemic, they're arresting people.
This right here, you can watch when they have bail reviews that you go on the door. And watch when they have bail reviews.
My ancestor parents, they can't take it. My parents,
Why do I got on my money?
ancestor parents. Okay, so this is Central Booking, y'all. We walk around the corner. So we come across 12 jails.
Right. You know they just
Around the corner. We started at what was that over there? I'm sorry.
pounds.
Eagle Falls Road, and we went up to Eagle and what? And Greenmount. Then we came from Greenmount to Madison, and now we're in Madison. Is that a block?
Yes, we went around the whole block. We went in the
And
block.
12 jails,
Square.
2 schools.
One school.
Isn't Dunbar?
That's over there.
All right, so 1 school. So St. Francis, 12 schools, 4 shelters, and 3 shelters this way.
Your shelters in here.
Gladiator thing.
Gumbars. That's what we got. Juvenile, the main juvenile box. One block down. Dunbar. It's all systematically set up there. When the white out, they extract the system in place long before the punishment of the bill. That's why I'm saying that most people that are felony convicted, they institute a sentence which is crime by punishment. This literally shows Baltimore being under federal indictment. The whole city is under crime by punishment. And urban communities are affected to be studying the class of the decades. In the last state, that whole 19 main institutions was the last state to let slavery go. But conversely, did they? Because under the 13th Amendment tried to privatize institutions. So they just rerouted, built jails in all the counties with plantations, from Washington County all the way down to the Eastern Shore, back to Baltimore City, around
So
the
all
county.
these plantations became prisons.
Absolutely.
So the plantation that said used to live is now the plantation with the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren.
And the great-grandchildren work again.
Okay. So, Central Booking, we got 3 shelters down this street. So, imagine, you come out of pre-release and you don't have nowhere to go. This might be your new house. Go around here to the shelter. We're in the parking lot, but this is where people sleep. We're in COVID-19, but during the regular time, there's people sleeping out here. But they move all the homeless off the street. But on a regular, this is an encampment. All people live here. This is where the shelter, the 24-hour shelters down the street. Something like that. What is this, Shorty? What the hell is this?
Oh, one of them Egyptian type
Alright, so you gotta see how they monitor the building. See the cameras? This building is monitored the whole row. All this takes money, taxpayers' money. This is what you take care of these people. So, what what they do, let me show you what they do. They put this so you can't run. So if you were to get out that little window, it's going to be hard for you to get. This is like, you know how you run in the beach? This is put here for a reason. So you don't have no traction. You don't have no traction if you come out. If you are to get to more left, because remember, we got a window and it has mesh. So not only is it a window, the small one, you see the mesh? So if you were to get out of there, you fall here and you can't run because you ain't got no traction. Because your foot they think of everything. You see what I'm saying? They don't miss nothing. So here we go. The pole, so this is all the
Get the sign up there. Turn it down and pick up a hundred.
yeah, what is this called?
Some people stay here 60 days, 90 days. Some people stay here 9 months, depending on the bed space. Kansas City Jail, they used to have a process. You came in, you got booked, you went upstairs, it's inside the jail within 7 days to 30 days. You know, city jail is where you wait to go to court, and throughout the process, you can sit there from that 7 days to 18 to 23 months waiting for your case to be over.
Okay.
Then go to the OC and sit another 60 days. If you got an enemy, you can't go nowhere. So if you got 5 years, if you got somebody saying you're an enemy, they're an enemy of yours, or you're an enemy of theirs,
You stay here?
then you stay in diagnosis, 23 and 1.
20, tell us what that is. 23 hours in,
Yeah,
1 hour out.
1 hour out.
Every day.
Every day.
I can't win. I'm not saying that it's anybody's fault. I'm saying that when you set people up for failure like this, we've been in 1 block radius, and we've looked at 12 jails. 12 jails in 1 block, and a school. I haven't seen anything, no psychological help. I haven't seen no medical help. I haven't seen a library. All I've seen is institutions of housing people through penalization. That's all I've seen.
So
In a block. Why?
right. So people ask me the other day on the Zoom, right? When I was locked up, why did I come home and go, instead of going to see my family, I used to go right back to the block? I say because I was locked up 23 and 1. So when you let me out the door,
You don't want to go in the
I don't want to go anywhere in any door that's going to lock. You understand what I'm saying? My mind was fixated on being in the box. And this was my only shot of freedom. Remember, like Harriet told the people, like, I want to give you a shot to show you what freedom is, so I want to take you from here. And they was like, no, we don't want to leave. And she said, you can't go back there. Anyway, you'll go to see your maker. So, like, I did everything to go to a situation that will put me right back where it all began. Because going in, I stayed there 5 years, so I had to learn to adjust to the customize of the society. Then you cut me loose and put me back in a society. Then I had to make my own rules, regulations, and decisions for myself to live. Everything has been told. When to shower, when to eat, when to go to school, when to go to sleep. Now you're gonna cut me loose after 5 years, 7 years, and tell me you free. Go get a job, do whatever you want, hang out. You ain't gotta go in the house or any of that. And then my family was so tormented because I kept getting so many houses raided, looking for me for warrants and all this other shit. I'm getting high. They didn't trust me in the house. So they was like, don't come here. But because of the lifestyle I was involved in, I chose to stay away. So the hood became my family. And people always ask, why is it that Baltimore streets mean so much to me? Because Baltimore streets is my family. They my bloodline. But now I had gotten them back, but I had to learn them. I know all of them. These are my family.
You had to learn your family.
I had to learn my family. Nieces and nephews grew up. I ain't know who the hell they was because I was in prison.
That's real talk.
You see this?
I know, Toin. And then it's so, tell me what it is.
And this wall against this wall. This is the 1913 wall. This is the 19 wall. This castle used to be Charles Baltimore and his brother's castle.
Got it. So, what we saw in the front was the front of the castle. Remember the castle. So what we saw, I don't want to be on camera. So what we saw in the front of this building is the castle, right?
Yep.
All right, so we got this wall is a part of the castle. You see the color? Remember the color in front of the building was this color.
Right.
So now look, there's a big difference. And look at it, it says 1913 to 1990. I mean in 1990 they added this wall. So they dated it.
Right.
Now, but the thing is, they actually gave you, but they said if you want to seek the truth, you got to seek the truth. Like, what does those numbers mean?
Right.
And 1912 is when you was labeled, or our citizens, which are brown, we were, as your grandmother, she was an indigenous Indian. She wasn't black. In 1913 is when Walter Pleckler created vital records and classified the black and white classification. White people became white in 1913.
That's when the color chart started, right?
Yeah, that's the color chart. So this right here, this is a big statement because what's that mean? In 1913, blacks were property. So that's why he wrote that, so he can make you property. And this system that we're looking at the very today is a part of the system of the 3/5 of a man. That was started right there where your grandmother was she could say I was a Cherokee Indian. I know girls when I was in school that have a Blackfoot Indian and my father's from Ghana. They could say these things, but in this poison here of us not finding ourselves in falling into the categorization.
Well, do you know at 1913 this wasn't a prison?
Say it again?
In 1913 this was never a prison.
No,
I know this was a collection of slaves.
Well, it was just the order of what that number was. Still, collection of slaves. Where they were in prison.
Well,
Just
a
no
collection
bars.
of people. So now you come into modernize. You add another wall. You modernize the system, but it's doing the same thing.
Right.
Housing people.
Right.
What's that?
It doesn't change.
The castle.
So you just put the new brick on the old brick and keep it moving.
Right.
And you dated. Tell people this is what we've been doing.
That's the
what-
fear.
it's-
That's the fear. That's the
It's
acceptance.
subliminal messages and everything
That's the
that you see.
acceptance.
Only people who want to indoctrinate you, they always make monuments. Indoctrination is always monuments. It's the name of streets. It's words. So what we see around here is all of that. We see Constitution Street. We see Grave Street. We see these little small monuments. We see all of the signs. All that means something.
Yep.
That's what you do.
Genocide.
When you indoctrinate people, you have to have things in place so they can continue to see it. And that's what we see. We see a constant indoctrination of real people.
And nothing is wrong with my city. My city's perfect. No, I'm serious. You're right. You said what you just said. So with indoctrination brings everything you asked for. It's actually the perfect product of genocide and apartheid. That's why everybody come to my city and look at us like we guinea pigs, because that's all we are. Because nobody brings a solution.
Right.
We are the solution. Nobody ever asks us for the solution. We know it. We actually have that too. But we have everybody that is, they'll love to come here, black, white, green, because we're the cash crop to the genocide and apartheid. We know this. I mean, we
They get
know
to put their hands on
culture,
everything and-
vulture look like.
Yeah.
Nobody's here for the solution. They're here for the indoctrination. They
They
love it.
But absolutely, if you
They love
indoctrinate, you're able to get what you want. But there's no way a city does not know that it has 12 prisons in one block. Yeah, it's a plan. And most of us don't know that they were planning something like this. But look at it. We've seen 12 prisons. 12 prisons. And a one.
We gotta ask ourselves, why is it here?
Why is it
Because,
here?
wait a minute, because it's no way that you'll see this in no white community, because they're gonna stand their ground and say, you're not putting that ground on my children.
That's what I'm saying.
But they never came to us, or I can't even say us, because I have to say my elders, and they stayed silent. Their silence was consent, and they did this to us. That's why I always say silence, our silence is consent, because by you not going to a zoning board meeting or whatever these meetings is that they have. This is the reason why this happened.
Because they have to tell somebody.
Right, but see, they put it out there, but nobody show up. It's all in the board estimate, which they put it at a time, 9 to 5. I mean, they put it early in the morning because people who like you and everybody else who go to work can't make it.
Yeah, like,
Everything you talking about,
I'm working.
okay, it's a monument. Sit right there.
One block. Right, Toin? 12 institutions in one block. You know how much taxpayer dollars come right here in this one block?
We gotta start talking about the numbers of captivity that leave around the cities of Baltimore. So they give you a subliminal, right? Saying 1 out of every 4 families has somebody incarcerated. It's a lie. 2 families out of every 6 doors has over 3 people in their family affected by the prison system in some type of measure.
So you said
4 people you know, 4 people I know.
Some people come through here.
Yeah. That statistics is 487 people come through here a day.
And through the
From 1999 to 2007, with O'Malley and Sheila Dixon, they arrested more people than have ever been arrested in Baltimore City through the Zero Tolerance Act. More people got arrested during Obama in Baltimore City and sentenced. But on the other side, everybody got Medicaid, which was already in the plan to bring out opiates as a legalized prescription to transcend people from heroin use to prescription pills. So when they turned over and that thing happened, with them running in Refcos and CVS's and all that still, that was already something that was already in plan. That was already in plan. They already knew it would work because they did studies on heroin to get people off, to put them on Suboxone, percocets and all that. How about a city with murders? What's the one prescription pill you're gonna need? Percocets. You get shot, you get morphine, Percocets. And if you got Medicaid, you can legally tell your pharmacist, listen, I need a refill. I need a refill.
I don't want to say. I just never seen anything like this. Have you ever seen anything like this?
I've never seen anything like this.
And Boom is saying that people know about this. People do not. I know so many people have no clue.
I can imagine because
No clue.
like for people who like where I grew up at, right? How I grew up at the age of 12, it was a badge of honor for me to be arrested. You understand what I'm saying? It was a badge of honor. How you gonna hang on Bowman and Shawanders or Bowman and Ricerstown and you ain't been in no cuffs? The fuck away from around here. So like I ain't grew up with no dudes that go to Morgan and all. My homeboy that went to Frostburg because he could play came home and got shot and wound up using heroin.
I had never seen that before.
You follow what I'm saying, sis?
That is unbelievable.
I told you my thing wasn't to go to Baltimore Community College. My thing was to go to BCCC because I had already been in BCCC before I had been on Liberty High School. to Baltimore Community College.
You know, what I was telling Toin and Bono believe, it is so many people that have never seen this in their life. They have never known that this many jails are in Baltimore. I never even knew.
Oh, well, we knew. We've been here our whole life.
Even people who've been here their whole life.
That right there is freaking me out. You
I
got
did
dead
a
people.
thing on this on my Facebook. All of it. When me and Toin came down here. So Black Lives Matter. I did a thing. Remember Toin, I posted this.
Wait, I'm just walking past. I didn't play
This is Michael Brown.
And then I get to that one right there. What is
This is Breonna Taylor.
this?
I call it the walker, the police and walk of shame. This is Alton Sterling. This is what I put on my page.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But why would you put it in front of such a picture?
This is Freddie, because this is shame the police. This is Freddie Gray.
You don't care. He walked by and spit on it.
I know. Freddie Gray. You got Tamir Rice. These are all people killed by the police. You got Sandra Bland. And you got Anton Black. So, doing this, and which they don't believe, people don't believe that people don't even never see the person, don't even know. I work with people who I tell them and they're like, you're lying. I went to, people go to Morgan with me, never heard of this.
Morgan?
I graduated from Morgan.
And now you never heard of this?
Never heard of this. And it's not because they don't care. It's because I really did not know. This is some bullshit, but I didn't know. So that is why it's so important for us to inform people and for them to know that Baltimore has set people up for failure. This is a setup. But people don't believe. They believe the system is fair and that everybody has equal footing, that if you work hard, you're going to do good. That's not true. When you see what we saw today. And that's why it's so important to catalog it. So people who've never been exposed. So, because we got to open up people's eyes. It's about knowledge. And so this is, so when you come through, this is where you come out.
Right.
Came out of prison, bro?
I just came out of Central Booking. I was in there in Roanoke County for 6 days, and I had a warrant in Central Bookings for eating on the subway. Hear that?
Wow, so you just got out.
They just released me. I was in there for 26 hours, and I'm a free man.
How's Corona in there?
So when you release, what you
I don't
doing?
know.
What's next?
I'm waiting for my sister to come
Oh,
and
somebody pick you up.
take me that safe place.
Okay.
And I'm gonna start doing things with some integrity.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's
Lots
what's up.
changed for me.
Lots
I just got into an accident July 9th. I was in a car accident. I was in a coma from the 9th to the 18th. I got 8 fractures in my face right now, my skull.
And you just
Leaving it.
getting out of prison.
And I just got out of the bunkers.
Wow.
Brain damage. And they still wanted to hold me in there for eating on the subway. I was in there for 26 hours, but they released me. The commissioner did right. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, God bless you.
God
Wish you
bless.
well.
He
You going
does.
back to Anne Arundel County?
No, I'm going Baltimore County, Essex.
Baltimore County, Essex.
Sister.
Well, please be blessed. Take care of yourself.
I'm blessed.
Don't come back.
This is my miracle right here.
Don't come back.
Progress report later.
Yeah, don't come back. Shorty first introduced me to over here. On Father's Day, what y'all do here on Father's Day?
Oh, we do jail support. We give people food, we give them rides home, we give them cell phones. We do it Friday nights from 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock.
And the people, when they come out of pre-release, everything is other agencies
We
here.
ain't got no agency. It's called jail support.
Jail support.
And it's me and some other people, and we bring up food. We get resources for them, and we collectively get together to help them out. We let them use our cell phones. If they need a ride, we give them a ride to wherever they gotta go. We make sure that they're taken care of so they get home safely. We don't give them no money. We give you some cigarettes, some food, and some resources. That's the best we can do.
And you did it for 14 hours.
We do it from 8 o'clock. No, we do it from 4 o'clock to 12 o'clock.
Wow.
Every Friday night.
That's what's up. So this guy just coming out.
Yeah, they all coming out right now. If you see them with a plastic bag, they just coming home. What's up, G? You need to make a phone call?
Nah, I'm good. Got smoke on?
I don't smoke.
So they're actually coming out as we hear. So this is the system in Baltimore. We have Boom with us. We
Yeah.
had Shorty. We had YoYo. We had Toin. What's my man in the red?
That's Mathematics 300. He from Gilmore Homes. He's strictly from in the mud.
We have Mathematics 300 talking about, this is the community crew talking about incarceration in Baltimore.
Another thing that you could look at, though, that for the viewers to get a better understanding of what's going on, is a few other documentaries that are on the ground for like Brother Ellsworth Bay. He's a brother that works on the mindset, but we were talking more about, well, what's the effect individually that, well, he's a guy that they actually, he was in prison, did the mind thing, and now he gets called all over to change the mindset. Yeah, his name is Ellsworth Bay. And Dwayne Shorty always got when you get into the, like you said, the system.
Yeah, I think the 13th Amendment. I'm strictly about jail.
Yeah, 13th Amendment.
Prison industry.
And look over that Michelle Alexander movie again. Now that you see what this young lady has done, you'll be able to see where the puzzles are going. Like, oh, because Michelle Alexander's movie Jim Crow was the
new face.
It was like this. Everybody saw it, but they was like, all right, now where is it out here? So then you got to.
It's right here.
This is it. This is Jim Crow.
Right here.
All right.
Prison pipeline. Can't get no more.
No more better.
You talk to him.
As soon as you go in that jail, and when you find, if you get a bail or no bail, and you go upstairs, they put you in the gym sleeping on the floor for about 3 or 4 days. You're sleeping on the floor with mice. It's so dirty up there. It is so dirty in that gym. They don't clean it. They don't do that. I mean, there's dust balls up there this big around, and you're sleeping on the floor, and then they move you from people fresh off the street after you get the COVID test. They move people fresh off the street in your cell without having a test or anything. People in there dying all the time. 2 people done died since I've been there since May.
So you've been in here since May?
I heard on the news. Right, they don't make none of that public.
So people are dying from COVID in the jail.
They're dying from COVID in the jail.
Had 9 died in the state that they talked about, but you're not talking about the covert deaths in the homeless community or the prison industry. You ain't heard nothing about the homeless community, and they closed the shelters.
Yeah.
And they keep moving. Like today, I was supposed to go to court today. They said hell with my court date and sent me over to Metro, over to Penn today. But I still end up going to court over there, and that's how I got released today. I said, but it's so dirty over there. Then he puts you on what is it, 14-day
14-day hold.
They put you in quarantine for 14 days in C-dorm over there, and it's so dirty over there. And you just get the test over here. They stick the thing up your nose, and they don't move you until you test negative. But there's people in there coming up positive every day, and they're moving them right on C Center Tower, and they're moving them right in the cell with people before testing them, just bringing them straight in. And people in there are dying to take them out with sheets over them all the time. 2 of them since May, since I've been here.
Wow.
You ain't heard that on TV.
Yeah, that's Black Box Radio. This is live. Live. This is a brother you just got out, right?
Yes.
Wow. It ain't a black issue, a white issue, a green issue in Baltimore.
It's about
your body.
It's a body.
$1.
Exactly.
That's all you are.
Exactly.
Child too. They specialize in snatching kids, so don't think.
And everybody that's going in there, they're not getting bails. They're either getting a no bail or released on their own recognizance right now. Ask any of the bail bonds. All the bail bonds are out of business. That's why you don't see none of them out here. There's nobody getting no bails at all. And if there is getting a bail, a private non-profit organization is paying people's bails to get them out of here.
Which is Out for Justice, which is our organization, which is the one that was bailing the people on Father's Day.
Black Box Radio, live. We're here in the prison industry in its rarest form. This brother just got out.
Nobody's making a complaint about it, and I made it my business. And he said that you guys are taking interviews. That's why I took my business to stop here, and I got to go all the way to Essex.
My man.
So I stopped to make it live because this place is not right, man. They're not feeding you right, inadequate food. They're not feeding you right. If you don't go to commissary, you're hungry all the time. And they take your food and slap it on the tray. They fill the water, spaghetti with water in it. And the bread's always wet and soggy. They don't feed you right. It's the health department shut the place down. Really. I mean, it's bad in here.
Wow. I can't say
So
anymore.
we lost 2 people to corona since March, since May, right?
Since May.
And they ain't heard that.
I can't
And like
say
you
no
said, they
more.
pulling people out in sheets every day.
Every day they pulling people out. I mean, you got people coming in ODing and all that too, but still, the coronavirus is the main thing in there. I mean, they don't care about it. The only time they test you is when they want you to move from this building to this building. to Metro.
That's the only time you get tested.
That's when you get tested. If you don't get tested, you stay in this building, and you stay in there with people. Even the police are coming up off of quarantine because they come with positive COVID in there.
How many cases you doing?
I know about 4 people that's on quarantine. They're taking the JI building right now, using JI building for quarantine for COVID positive testing. And there's like, I know good 16 people over there right now. When I was in the hospital waiting, a guy come in a wheelchair from JI from quarantine for having COVID.
Didn't you say you go to the hospital and you got fractured? What you go to the hospital for?
Now I was getting released. We gotta go over there and get out physically. And I've been over there since 1 o'clock waiting to get released, and I'm just getting released now. It's crazy in there, man.
Listen, I ain't gotta say no more. Black Box Radio got seen. It's live. This is real talk.
Thank God,
Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. Okay. So, guys, Black Box Radio, this is Point of View. I did the 12 walk with the community crew. We walked around the whole block. But it's one block. 1 block, 1 hour. 12 institutions, 1 school. We saw it all. This is, I call it Incarceration Row. I don't know if we need this many prisons. I don't know if we need these many places to hold people, but this is what we got. Family, if you listen to this, you have just watched Incarceration Row in Baltimore City. And I just wanted to come back and kind of clear up some of the inconsistencies, because when we was walking, you get incarceration drunk. Real talk. So there are 7 penal institutions that I counted, 1 school, and 3 shelters. And it's all in 1 square block. And we also had 2 visitors with the community crew. We had Boom from 300 Gangsters and Brother Mike. So settle in. We're going to show you some more pictures and kind of clear up some of the stuff and kind of slow down some of the information that we gave you guys. All right? Hit 'em, G. All right, family. This is St. Francis Academy. I alluded to this school a million times because I am so perplexed why a school would butt up to a jail. So the back of the school, which is the gymnasium that we showed in the documentary, the Joan and John Phelps Gymnasium, butts up against the prison. So you come out of that gymnasium and you see a prison, which I think is crazy. But I went around the front, and these are pictures of St. Francis Academy, founded in the early 1800s, I think 1827. It's a majority African-American school, and it's a part of the Catholic system. So it's very unfortunate that any religious institution would sanction a school in front of a jail. But it is a beautiful campus, and we just wanted to give it its due and not just talk about where it sits, but how beautiful it is and the children that actually go to the school. It is a great school in Baltimore City, Maryland. Hit 'em, G. Okay, family, we are showing you now some aerial images. So we went up on 83 and we took some pictures of that whole area, because from 83 you can see everything, and it's so beautiful. It's so serene and looks solemn. But make no mistake, down Madison Avenue that you see there, all penal institutions, even that tallest brown building on your left, that's a classification center. That is a part of the penal system. So all of the flags, all of how cityfied it looks, it is the penal institution of Baltimore City, Maryland. 1 square block of incarceration. Okay, we're moving on. We are displaying some of the businesses that set around this 1 square block of penal institutions. You see that iconic sign from 83, William C. Sick, I'm not sure of the name, but that's there. Then we also see the bail bondsman
places, but they're actually closed because, we got a new bail law. So I don't know if they're closed because of the pandemic, because this is pandemic 2020, or they're just closed. But then you also see the incomparable St. Francis Academy, and you're going to see the Latrobe Homes, because the projects in America is a business of putting people in the projects. So those are all businesses, including, of course, there's always a Korean spot, a grocery, or food in the black neighborhood. Taken. So check it out. Hit 'em, G. All right, family, we are now going to talk about some signs. So I just took pictures of the signs around the 1 square block where the penal institutions are. So we started at Eager, and from Eager we went to Greenmount, and from Greenmount we went to Madison, down Madison to Falls Way, and back to Eager. That is the periphery, or the big square block that I speak of. And then I also show you Graves and Constitution Street. So the JI building, which is where pre-release is now, sits in between Graves Street and Constitution Street. So it's amazing how words are so powerful. So you name the street Constitution from your 13th Amendment and all of the 3/5 of a man. And then when they're done with you, it's the Graves Street, which is the prison. So words are powerful. We build monuments because they're powerful. And it's just very interesting what I saw. So check it out. G. Okay, family. I'm now coming by the JI building between Graves and Constitution, and I see this fire hydrant that has a long thing attached to it. So I walk up to it, I'm looking at it. It is, of course, a fire hydrant in the ground, city property or whatever, state property, and it has a hose connected to it going up the street into a hole. And I look into that hole and there's construction. And I know there's construction because half of the penitentiary is open and the other half is being torn down and rebuilt, I guess, because they are building. There's construction going on there. But my issue with the water is Baltimore is notorious. They've taken people homes for water bills. People's water bills are out of control. Some people don't even have water in their homes because they're not able to pay the bills. Water bills are a problem in this city, and they can have construction going on during a pandemic and utilize taxpayers' dollars for that construction that house individuals in penal institutions. So that's what's important during a pandemic, is to push water towards a construction site to build a jail. I tell you, our priorities are amazing. Hit 'em, G. All right, so these are just pictures of the actual prisons that on that 1 square block. Supermax, the minimum security prison, and then these other prisons or administrative buildings to the prisons that have such beautiful architecture. And I just think they could be used for something so much more brighter, because they're beautiful, but you see all the barbed wire, and they are actually prisons. IG. All right, family, we're going to talk about construction around that 1 square block. So within the penal system at this moment in Baltimore City, between Eager and Greenmount is the penitentiary. And the penitentiary is, on one side it's open, and on the other side they're doing construction. And I alluded to that earlier when I talked about the fire hydrant. But these are actual pictures of the construction during the pandemic. They're building jails. And then on top of that, I look at the demolition crew. It says Celtic Demolition. I look on the sign for general contractors. It says Parkville, Maryland. So the bigger question is, are there any minority contractors on this contract? Are any inner city contractors on this contract? It is amazing. You say, well, why are you worrying about that? Because Baltimore is 60, let's say 50% black, which I know is more than that. So 50% plus black. And there's no minority contractors building the jail that houses 60% of the individuals in this country. That means something. Social power means having access to contracts in Baltimore City and in the state. So, these are some pictures. Check it out. G. Okay, family. Let's talk about some of the signs they got on the prison. They have a sign that says inmate property and finance cage. You know what that means. It's just so many signs all over the place. They got some signs that I don't know what they are. This blue and white sign, but it's on every building. It looks like a healthcare sign, but I'm not sure what that is. Then you have Building Brighter Futures in Maryland, where they talk about the demolition that they're doing at BaltimoreCity Correctional Complex. And it has all of our elected officials, the governor, the treasurer, all of these people are on that. So that's Building a Brighter Future jail. Awful. So just look at these signs. They're just a variety of signs on this one square block. Because remember, signs are there for a reason, or no signs will be out there. It's a reason why a sign is there. And if you see one more than twice, those are signals. Because what is a prefix of a signal? Sign. All right. Check it out. Hit 'em, G. All right, family, we made an unbelievable observation while we was doing this documentary. And I just want to say as a disclaimer, we are not indicting Baltimore City government, or any of the leaders in Baltimore. We're just observing what's here and reporting on it. That's what responsible news or journalism is. So, prisons and projects. If you go on Greenmount and Madison, on that corner is the minimum security prison. And then right behind that is Latrobe Homes. So when I say Latrobe Homes, that is the projects, or a project. So the projects are government subsidized housing that people are placed in. So all of this is something that was built and is continuing to house black people. So you raise children right outside of a jail. So as you saw the documentary, you come out of your house and there's a jail right there with barbed wire. So your children, you get desensitized to institutions. Tell me what neighborhood in Baltimore has that going on other than black neighborhoods or black people. Why do we do this to people? You cannot say you care about other humans when you place them to live across maybe 15, not even 15 steps. I could say 10 steps from a jail. And if you look at the documentary, the jails are cleaner than the projects. They look more presentable than the projects. They are sitting there looking regal, and the projects looks torn up. The building looks a mess. It looks unkempt. It doesn't look dirty. I don't want to say that. It looks unkempt, and you can see the overgrown grass on the back of the prison. It's just really irresponsible to house people in projects, or what one might say is a ghetto. And I challenge you, go up and look who's created ghettos and why were ghettos created. Just look it up. I am appalled. You cannot care about people and you place them to inhabit, raise children, live on the seat of a jail or on the feet of the jail. How about that? So here we see prison and projects. Check it out. Hit 'em, G. Well, family, we're almost out of here. But I had to put this up. Black Lives Matter. I see it everywhere in Baltimore City. On every building, they're writing it on streets. It's on people's shirts. It's everywhere. But is it symbolism? Because if we look at the penal system, which is 60% comprised of black people, and we are a small percent of the population, at least 13%, why do we even have to wear something that say Black Lives Matter? So the way that the penal system is being presented in America, does Black Lives Matter? That's the question. I want to thank the community crew, Anton Qualls L, Dwayne Shorty Davis, and Yolanda YoYo Pulley. And this is Queen of B from Black Box Radio. We out. Peace.